And in my playbook tonight, a watchdog group thinks Christine O'Donnell is a criminal. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington filed complaints alleging O'Donnell's misuse of more than $20,000 of campaign funds. The organization's executive director said Christine O'Donnell is clearly a criminal, and like a crook, she should be prosecuted. Ms. O'Donnell has spent years embezzling money from her campaign to cover her personal expenses. Thieves belong in jail, not the United States Senate. O'Donnell responded to the accusation last night.
I said, why are you listening to a liberal organization in the first place? They're scared that the person that Harry Reid called his pet is not going to get the seat. The momentum surrounding this campaign is obvious. That's why they're creating baseless accusations.
Specific
I'm confident that we have been ethical. We have not, I personally have not misused the campaign funds.
Joining me now is Melanie Sloan, Executive Director for Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. She wants O'Donnell prosecuted. Melanie, what specifically did you find that concerns you?
Well, we found combing through Christine O'Donnell's campaign finance reports that she repeatedly used campaign funds for personal use. Particularly in 2009, she had March and April rent payments that were made out, checks made out to a guy named Brent Vasher, her landlord, and those we've learned were rent payments, and she called them expense reimbursements. And that's just one example of the many, many expenses Ms. O'Donnell claimed to be campaign expenses, but were really just expenses of her lifestyle. But she had no other income, so she was treating her campaign account like it was her personal piggy bank.
And this happened in 2009?
2009 and 2010.
Okay.
And yeah, Ms. O'Donnell had really no oversight. There was no campaign treasurer, as the law requires, for over a year and a half. So she had a Wachovia bank card that she used, whipped out whenever other people would use their debit card.
Who do you have sworn statements from that will back up this allegation?
We have a sworn statement from David Keegan, who was a former campaign staffer for Ms. O'Donnell back in 2008. And in addition, there was another person, a campaign manager, who made recorded calls the night before the election or the week before the election, another conservative who talked about the problem with O'Donnell routinely using campaign funds for personal use and at the same time not even paying her campaign staff.
What do you say to those? Well, that soundbite that we just played of her, was she lying?
She was lying. But what do you expect her to say now? Yeah, you caught me. I was stealing all my campaign money.
And when you look at the way she has handled this, how sure are you that you're going to be able to get a prosecution here and that authorities will respond to this complaint?
Well, you can never be 100% sure that the Department of Justice, which doesn't have an amazing track record recently of taking on public officials, you can never be sure. But certainly there's enough evidence that they ought to be looking at this. And the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, has to start an investigation because we've sent a complaint there. So sooner or later, people are going to be going through Ms. O'Donnell's campaign finances with a fine-tooth comb, and they will find how much she's been stealing. Today, she, through her lawyer, threatened to sue Crew. And I welcome such a suit because then we'd be in, we'd get discovery and we'd get to go through her campaign finances and we'd bring that out to the American people.
Melanie, you're an attorney. You got her dead in the water?
We got her dead in the water, Ed.
Good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. It's going to be an interesting story to follow.